And this was after we were sued, government officials came to visit our community. And now, it wasn't just elders, it was young people as well that came out after they were informed that they were being sued for 10 billion. They all came out and said they had no money. Here's our lawyer, former lawyer. Community meetings. Also, I usually mention the work that our people did to raise awareness. Mark Anderson, Wallace Muscatine, and other KI members respond to $10 billion lawsuit with an awareness walk from Pickle Lake to Toronto Queen's Park, called it Our Land, Our Children, Our Future. Altogether, they walked 2,100 kilometers. Wow. Here, this is Pickle Lake, and they had to walk all the way over here down to Toronto, to Queen's Park. Approximately 6 weeks. Here they are, Mark Anderson, Wallace. The first steps, interviewed by Wawate. As community members joined the walk. Students writing letters to walkers in support of their stance. Thunder Bay community members and supporters. Terry Fox, I joined the walk from Thunder Bay to White River. One of our community youth who lives in Thunder Bay. When they arrived in Queen's Park, it's outside Queen's Park. I didn't really want to get into this, but since I only have, well, okay. What did the Ontario Superior Court say about the Kayaplatniks land dispute? This case highlights the clash of two very different perspectives and cultures in the struggle over one of Canada's last remaining frontiers. On the one hand, there is a desire for the economic development of the rich resources located on a fast track of pristine land in a remote portion of northwestern Ontario. Resisting this development is an Aboriginal community fighting to safeguard and preserve its traditional land, way of life, and core beliefs. Justice Patrick Smith, Ontario Superior Court of Justice. Platniks sought an interlocutory injunction against members of KI not to obstruct them in their work. Platniks argued that KI was violent in the protest that took place in February 2006. Platniks argued that they would go bankrupt if drilling was not to commence. Platniks argued that it obtained approval and permits from the province of Ontario and that KI surrendered title to the land through treaty in 1929. KI argued that before giving permits to Platniks, Ontario did not fulfill its duty to consult and accommodate as per Supreme Court of Canada. Mining Act is unconstitutional that it did not respect Aboriginal and treaty rights. KI has outstanding treaty land entitlement claim. KI has sacred relationship with the land. And that's the thing, there was nobody that came or even informed KI that this company was given permits to conduct their exploration work. So in July 28, 2009, after all the litigation and arguments were made, Justice Smith made this first decision stating that Ontario failed in its duty to consult KI prior to giving permits to Platniks. These are quotes of the ruling. KI's connection to the land was the essence of its being, and that no amount of money can compensate for its loss. Aboriginal identity, spirituality, laws, traditions, and culture, and the rights that are connected to and arise from this relationship to the land. This is a perspective that is foreign to and often difficult to understand from a non-Aboriginal viewpoint. It was also found that KI did not act illegally or improperly during the protests in February of 2006, and that Platniks left no other option for KI but to confront them at the drill site. Justice Smith wrote that Platniks was not to drill for 5 months and for KI to set up a consultation committee to work with Platniks in Ontario for 5 months and to come to an agreement and return January 5th, 2009. January 2007 came along. All parties went before the judge without an agreement. The province of Ontario was added as a party to the litigation. So April 2007, another court ruling was made. All parties went before the judge, KI, Platniks, and Ontario. KI sought an extension to the interlocutory injunction Ontario argued that it is their treaty right that they have title to the land at Inninuwug Lake according to treaty. Indian cede, release, surrender all titles and privileges to the land. That's not what we're told, is to live in peaceful coexistence and share. We're not saying it's ours, it's shared. That's what their understanding was. Justice Smith ruled that KI had no veto over its traditional lands as it was surrendered through treaty in 1929. KI's interlocutory injunction was dismissed. Latinx was granted access to continue with their drill program on their mining claims. The courts, however, stipulated that a consultation protocol be reached by all parties that would address potential burial site, environmental impacts, impacts on hunting and trapping, participation in decision-making, and compensation and funding. Latinx was granted to commence drilling by June 1st, 2007. That's the thing. They did give us a spot on their board of directors for one community member, but what's one community member against 7 others making decisions, right? So after the court ruling, we had our community direction that say no to this development. The elders said no. Our people said no. The hunters said no. They gave us a direction to protect the land, the waters, the animals, and to preserve the pristine lands. That was our direction as council, as chief and council of our community. So what did we do? We were stuck between a court order and a community direction. We went door to door. Chief and council members went door to door on Paris to consult the community as to what the next steps would be in KI Latinx dispute. Each community member was given the option to abide by Justice Smith's decision, appeal the decision, protest the decision. 80% of the community ballots for protest decision. So, September 24th, Latinx representatives attempt to come into the community of KI to begin archaeological and pre-screening work. Kitchenuhmaykoosib and Inninuwug will respond with protests at airport and inform Latinx representatives that they are not welcome on KI or KI traditional lands. So we follow. So here they are getting off the plane. And here's KI confronting them. Look at this guy. Go back. Looking at him like, are you crazy? There's people, there's young people and just KI people that our land, our home, our future. This was at the airport. Told him to get back on the plane. Remember, keep in mind, these are people that sued the people for $10 billion for protecting the environment. Elders. One of our youth. I had a picture of him looking at I had a picture of him looking at the president of the company. I couldn't find it. There's one of our my late buddy Brian. The president and CEO James Schussler. And here's our chief peacefully talking to him. Telling him he has no money. So October 25th, 2007, after expending approximately $720,000 on the legal dispute, KI was forced to release our legal counsel and gave Justice Smith our notice to self-represent, as we were not able to pay legal fees any longer. KI walked out of the courtroom. Latinx was granted full and unobstructed access to the drill site to commence archaeological pre-screening and exploratory drilling. See, again, we spent $720 of our community's money and people's money, and so we couldn't appeal the decision or keep going, so we were forced to release our legal counsel